I am the Craft Dad. Craft Dad is back with Foam Sword Part 5. Sorry for the long delay, but it's been a busy time in real world. So as you can remember, we left off with our foam sword being shaped and smoothed out to some degree, and we are now working on the glowing gems that we've spent time on in our other videos. As you can see here, I already have started in placing the gems. Now, one of the things that I found out I needed to do when I put the hot glue down is to make sure I press down firmly on the gem to help squeeze out any bubbles and get a real nice secure contact with the hot glue that I've already poured into the different openings. As you can see in the picture here, I'm using a tool to help scrape away the excess hot glue. Don't be like me and think you've got leather fingers and try to just wipe it away with your finger. It is a very bad experience, and it actually can end up giving you burns. If you don't have a tool, the best thing to do is wait for the hot glue to dry and just peel it off away. As you can see here, I ended up using a dowel rod that I had to help give me that extra leverage on pushing down on the gems. Unless you've got some real good dexterity in your fingers, it's kind of hard. So I just use the dowel rod, push down, and wait. Now, unfortunately, where I'm putting the gems now, I forgot that I wanted to raise that area up and make it a little thicker. So eventually I have to peel the gems off. Now, I'm not worried about damaging the gems because they'll pop right off from the hot glue if you give them enough pressure or and slowly tap the glue away. You can always reheat the hot glue and put the gems back. Now, if once you get the wires going, remember you want to test, test, and retest. Constantly test and make sure something didn't get messed up and you didn't lose a connection. Since I'm only using hot glue to maintain the connection between the wires, I like to test the connections. What I'm doing here is I'm actually taking the ends of the wires and I'm curling them into little hooks, and so I could hook them onto the wire that I'm going to be using as the linear wire that connects all the other wires. Now, one of the things you have to be careful with when you're doing this is how much pressure you use when you crimp the wire. One of the things that I ended up doing without realizing is I over crimped the wire for one of the LED leads. And what that ends up doing is it causes the metal to become so thin because of how much you crimped it that it breaks and snaps off. And so while I was going through all of this and figuring out, crimping the wires, and then start trying to figuring out, well, what wire is a positive, what wire is negative. I had marked them before, but somehow the paint came off, and well, everything kind of became a mess. So I got everything together and went to go do a test to see the whole sword light up, and only two gems lit up. So now it's time to troubleshoot. So I started going back through and marking the wires for hot and ground. And then as I was doing that, I also decided to start marking which wires were for which set of gems. I did this just by coming up with a color code, as you'll see in the couple of next pictures. As I'm going through testing the different gems, I end up marking, certain sets of gems as the single blue wire or single blue line, double blue line, a blue line and a white line, just a white line, just to give me the idea of what wires went to which gems or set of gems. Doing this will help you when you try to troubleshoot and figure out which gem is not working. As you can see here, these are the gems that I was talking about. I had already started ripping into it and getting them out for replacement. And now a message from our sponsor.
Thank you for watching. I hope these videos are helpful. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video.